feel like you have a way of keeping your morals and your boundaries, but also being a great listener and a great person to connect with people, even if they differ. Like me, I've shared very strong opinions with you. So what do you think that is? Like, can you maybe try to articulate what that looks like? How do you help people come out of their shell, and how do you create that safe place for them?
Have you ever looked at somebody that's doing what they're built to do and thought, man, that's beautiful? You watch a dancer dance, or you see like a Caitlin Clark or a Steph Curry pull up for a long three, and you're like, oh my goodness.
They're in the zone.
Yeah. Or a artist paint, or a singer sing, or somebody who's an especially talented leader take a situation and turn it into something simple and functional. It's beautiful to watch it. And I think that you can fine tune and hone those skills, but I'm not sure we can always be what other people are.
Interesting.
It's like you were saying, and that has its pros and cons. I've often said in the teaching world that I'm really glad that not every teacher is like me, because I'm not an especially good rule enforcer. The kids need to be afraid of somebody, and they're not afraid of me, right? So thank God for those other people that do value the rules.
I wasn't a rule follower, and I feel like maybe that's why we got along so, because you're my church leader, and
but I tried to keep you guys safe. I did draw the line at safety issues.
I think that we had more respect than you might be letting. Like, everyone followed rules with you because there's a lot of respect there.
Yeah.
We just didn't feel like you were just uptight about arbitrary rules.
Yeah.
And so, I agree. I would agree with you that, people, not everyone's built for everything. Mm-hmm. Do you think everyone is capable of being non-judgmental?
No.
Do you think people are just going to be judgmental? Like, they're incapable of just love, like independently loving, honestly?
So I would say two of the hardest things, I've interacted with what I feel are some very enlightened people, very thoughtful people, but you don't know what you don't know. We have blind spots, and it's very difficult to know what our blind spots are. And as a sense of self-preservation and human function, we don't go looking for them all the time either.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And then the other side of that is, it is so hard to acknowledge that someone is having a different human experience than you are, and that they're okay.
Man,
right?
That can you wow, that is an interesting statement. It is so hard to acknowledge that someone's having a different human experience, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's something inside of us that if we don't resonate with it, then it's almost this problem or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not judgment. Maybe not everyone can be non-judgmental. How do we just, like, I guess, let me ask you this. Okay, let's say you have coworkers, you have teachers that are probably anal and not pleasant, and they're probably asking you advice how to connect with students better or how to operate better. What would you say to someone like that?
So first of all, almost nobody cares how I think. That's why I think it's so cool that you're willing to invite me on your podcast.
That is not true, man.
Because most people don't care how I think. And that's not just me. To be fair, to validate, people don't care what other people think most of the time. Yeah.
Because people are fucking selfish, honestly. And they're very close-minded most of the time. I think that it takes so much humility to actually care what people think and to be a good listener.
Yeah.
To be a good listener in the sense of, I care to understand just for the sake of understanding, even if it's not what I believe. So I would agree with that, but let's just assume you're having a conversation with someone and they actually are like, I'm having a hard time. these students. I don't know how to handle them. I don't know how to. How can people coexist together?
Yeah.
Then, in your opinion, with differing beliefs? And I'm kind of hammering this. I know it's hard, and I don't know if we'll
that's
get to an
fine.
answer.
So I have had this conversation before with especially new teachers. I've been a mentor, 5 or 6 times over the years, and I tell people, if you can simplify what you have to do and focus on the students or focus on people, that's the sweet spot. We think, well, I need to do this and that, and I need to teach them this and that and that, except for the truth is they don't even care what you know until they know that you care about them. And that connection requires a little bit of an investment. So if you're like, I'm losing people, I'm not connecting with my family, I'm not connecting with my coworkers, my students, my children, maybe simplify what you have to do. And that's not very many things. And then you focus on individuals.
Interesting.